Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We have arrived at week 1 of the playoffs for the Divine League. We have Murk, Nimbus, and Akuma Katanas. Say that 10 times fast. I am Lemons, joined by Goferino today with the constant duo here. If you follow me on Twitter, if you follow me on Twitter, you're gonna see we have a nice showing of a beautiful Gopher today. How you doing, man?
Oh my god, the weather is just so awful right now. But caught off guard here, and they kind of started the pick and ban without us, and we've already gone through all of them. Just a lot of power picks being taken off the table here, so no real surprise outside of that Yasuo, actually.
That's exactly what I was going to point out. The Soraka, too. We have been seeing a little bit of a rise in her. She's been coming back into the meta, to no one's surprise, really, with all the buffs coming up. But with Soraka, Kindred, Yasuo taking on the blue side for Murk, Nimbus, and Ezreal, Volibear, Wukong taking out for Akuma on the red side, we see first pick Graves.
I mean, that's always a strong first pick. Very powerful jungler. You do always have that power farming option. Although it does surprise me a little because, as far as I can tell, Drops doesn't play a ton of Graves. Maybe he does some action on another account. Who knows? But the response to that is going to be the Nidalee and the set. Nidalee can out-farm the Graves early on, and also has that insane early game prio. Of course, you do kind of fall off like a brick, but
true,
you can expect that with the Nidalee.
I love the aggressive pick here from Akuma. I want to see this Nidalee pop off because we don't get to see that many Nidalees in amateur pop off, not going to lie. But maybe this time, maybe we will. Maybe we'll see Akuma pull it out. I do really love the set. It's just that safe pick that you can always be reassured that you're going to have some impact in the game, whether it be with the mobility or with the late game team fights. We do see a nice little duo potentially being picked up here from Murk Nimbus. They take the Lulu and the Kog'Maw.
Yeah, although it could be mid-lane Kog'Maw full AP.
Could be.
This would be like a 200 years, 200 IQ debate if they do pull that off. But I don't think so. Most likely going to be going to that bot lane, as Veigar is going to be the response here into this draft.
I really appreciate the Veigar. I don't know if I like the Veigar, but you do get that late game insurance policy with that pickup and potentially game-breaking ability there as one of those press R button champions that we all know and love. But we do get to finally see the rest of the bans going through here for Murk Nimbus. They take away the Bard, the LeBlanc, and Akuma, they take out the Ornn Mordekaiser. So some serious focus coming in for Akuma's last couple bans.
Yeah, and it is kind of a little interesting since very hard prioritizing that top lane here coming out from Akuma, and I wonder what exactly they're fearing from this top lane as that Karma is locked in. I'm surprised she's made it this far through the draft, Lemon, since she's just been such an all-around good pick lately these past few patches.
Gopher, I hate you. No, I'm just joking. I like the Karma too, occasionally. I just feel like it makes certain players look so bad when they have the potential to be so good. I love the hover of the Leona. I think that would have been an amazing pickup here. They do go with the safety of the Karma though, so you gotta appreciate that. And Gopher, we have a update here. If you didn't see, ladies and gentlemen, it is probably gonna be the mid lane Kog'Maw unless we see some shenanigans other than that. But Jinx gets locked in for Murk Nimbus.
And I mean, the Lulu still pairs very well with the Jinx here, since Lulu and Hypercarries is always a recipe for success. And it looks like Murk Nimbus are going to use Shen as their final pick here in the top lane. That will give them that extra split push pressure. But also with how squishy the rest of the composition is, with how many carries are on their composition, sure, the Lulu can just shield a metric buttload, but she can't really spread that shield and peel towards 3 different champions. You throw in a Shen in the mix, hey, that helps a lot.
It definitely does. And just to tie that composition together a little bit more, we do see the Echo locked in here for Akuma, so another aggressive pick, which does mean, man, these compositions go for, we got a banger of a game number 1 here for a 3-game series. I'm so excited. We don't even see any normalcy here pretty much. We're going to potentially see Veigar Karma bot lane or something along those lines. That's going to be something to watch out for once we actually get the lock-ins after Pro Draft.
Because
Oh, feels bad. It's actually Aurelia instead of Echo. Still though, still potential.
yep, most likely going to actually. I don't know which lane it's going to, because there is a lot of question marks here in this Akuma draft. Like, we were
Big
thinking
brain.
it was the Vygar Karma bot, and I do think that is a real potential, but then there's a matter of the set Irelia. I have heard some people have been using set mid in these previous few patches, where you go basically full tank. You actually max your E, the face breaker, and you just use that for insane gank pressure.
Yeah. It's I'm loving the stuff coming out. Big brain draft coming out from honestly both teams. I like it. I do get scared at the squishiness for Murk Nimbus. We have seen comps like that pulled off though, so it is a possibility. Just that Shin shores up a decent amount of those weaknesses. Maybe not all of them, because you do have pretty much if it is going to be this mid lane Kog'Maw, going to be that AP pickup there. So at least you won't have just a triple ADC composition against this comp that with the Aurelia, with the set, and all these other pieces.
Yeah, and I mean, that squishiness, it is going to affect him quite a bit in team fights here, because you have to remember, this is a Shen pick in the top lane. He's going to be split pushing, so when the team fights do break out, they're usually going to be jumping onto one of these carries, and they do have quite a bit of damage here if you're looking at Akuma, so will that 80 carry or AP carry be able to survive until that Sandy United finishes channeling? That remains to be seen.
It definitely does. Now, with the matchups just kind of getting placed in here, I think that the bot lane is going to be a little bit topsy-turvy. I do expect the junglers to go a little bit more towards these solo lanes potentially. You do have to think of the Vygar Karma bot lane. You want to try and get something going against them early, because you can't just let them sit there and farm. Vygar will eventually one-shot your carries, and we just covered how the squishiness could affect them in the later parts of the game as well.
Yeah, although obviously in terms of pure scaling, Jinx Kog'Maw will super outscale. Like AP Kog'Maw, not a lot of people are really used to this, but I kind of play a lot of ARAM, so I already kind of know the shiz deal with this Kog'Maw. And the thing is, it's like, sure, it takes a little bit of time to get online, because you have to get that Tear of the Goddess first. You have to stack that up, since the Living Artillery, that does cost a ton of mana if you are spamming it. Then you also want the Leandries afterwards, or Rylai's in some instances, but usually you see the Leandries just so you can really hammer home that poke. But with this Irelia mid coming out from Klexo, Boone might just have a little bit of a tricky time in this mid lane, since that Irelia can very easily freely all in this Kog'Maw whenever she wants.
Yeah, exactly.
And if he does go the Ignite on this Irelia, Boone is going to be in a bit of a tricky situation.
Well, and I think a lot of the eyes are going to be on Doubtful for Akuma here, because you have to be able to be this bridge, and as Nidalee, you need to be getting rolling early, and especially with an Aurelian set, you have these options. If you focus on these solo lanes, your bot lane's going to be farming away. They're going to be scaling. Yeah, it would be nice to get them some kills early, but if you can get this Aurelia, especially Klexo, ahead, it's going to snowball the game. So then you turn your eyes over to Murk Nimbus, and you just have to think of how they kind of hold on to this and scale, because that's where they're looking at. I mean, Graves gets further into the game, gets super scary. Jinx, obviously this hyper scaling carry, and then Kog'Maw, the AP version, still very, very strong in the late game. So it's going to be a tale of two takes here for either team.
It is going to be a tale of two different comp times. I don't know what the phrasing is, because everybody knows early game team comp and late game team comp, but I don't know the general word for that. Like a tale of two time comps. I don't know. We can make up new words as we go.
We'll figure out. We'll workshop it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to send it to a little spectator delay while we get ready for game number one. Do not go anywhere, because you do not want to miss this action between Murk, Nimbus, and Akuma Katanas. We'll be right back. We are back and on to Summoner's Rift here for the first week of the playoffs for the Divine League. We have Murk Nimbus versus Akuma Katanas. And hoping to see some serious action today, Go Farino. I think it feels like a good day for League of Legends.
Well, yeah, I mean, with how things are right now, with how everything's like half shut down, it's been not a better time to play League.
Right.
Like,
all right.
Whatever. My roommate, he just go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, you. But my roommate just literally sits home all day and plays League, and it's just gotten to the point where he's even got bored of that, despite being borderline addicted to League.
That's kind of feels bad, man.
Boone does have the new cute little Cogger skin, though, the little sorcerer one. I didn't know that was out already. I thought that was next patch.
I thought it was too. I thought it was on the 22nd. Maybe got a little early. I don't know. But it is a really, really cool skin. I really like the Nidalee skin for Doubtful if we're talking about skins, because I think that one is super slick.
I'm going to be honest, I forgot that was a skin.
I see. So it looks like we're going to get a separate side start here for jungle. Either way, we're going to see Drop starting on his red and Doubtful starting on his red. So we could see some differences in pathing here and potentially going to see some early action from the junglers.
That's what I'm expecting. Like, these are some pretty gankable lanes. Doubtful, if he really wants to, he could try and focus a early gank on this mid lane, because Kog'Maw without Flash is just the biggest sitting duck ever. When you combine that with the Irelia, who has the flawless duet, then you just have CC to set yourself up, and this Kog'Maw isn't going to survive that double Brain Blast smoothie coming out from this duo.
A double Brain Blast smoothie. Where can I get one of those? Come on.
I think it's from Jimmy Neutron, so you would have to go into the cartoon world.
Great show. Yeah, that's I just need to make sure I plan it out, make sure I get the days off and all that kind of stuff. Anyways, we're back in League of Legends here. Starting off, though, we do see a heavy aggression from the bot side for Akuma with this Veigar, with this Karma. With the Karma, you can push so heavily because you use those mantra Qs with the insane hitbox that it has to zone them off a little bit. And honestly, I was trying to see if Jinx and Lulu would be able to aggress early and try to get them down, but right now the confidence is on Akuma's side.
And that's because they hit the level 2 point now. If Kali and Giovanni want to go in, they have to contest against that Veigar cage, and it is not a fun time. Like, just dealing with Veigar cage as an 80 carry is the most obnoxious thing ever, because if you are in range to auto the Veigar, aka your main trading pattern, the Veigar is just like, you know what, have a cage, and you're like, cool, guess I'm stuck in here. As I like to call it, the Bermuda Triangle, since not many come out after going in.
The Bermuda Triangle. Okay, all right. We coining that. Oh, the flash forward from Shock. He's gonna get killed, maybe. Oh, the damage is not there from the tower, but holy cow, that was a bit of fireworks early in the top side. Nobody goes down though.
I will admit though, that is one of my favorite set mechanics. It's just kind of flashy to watch because you see the punch, it's there, then all of a sudden the punch moves, and you're like
somewhere else.
But very even trading in this top lane, which is kind of expected. Like, this Shen brings... Oh, look at this gank.
Yeah, we could be seeing a little bit. Oh, flash out from Kali, because you gotta get out of that Veigar cage, as you had mentioned.
And now, next time they push up here, Kali, without a flash, just means this Nidalee will be able to absolutely pounce on him. A little surprised he didn't try and go for the cleanse here, since Giovanni did take the heal, and you don't need the barrier as much. Like, sure, it's very helpful against the burst, but having that cleanse against the Veigar can be just so handy. I'm curious to see how Kali decides to itemize this game, because Jinx is notorious for needing a long time to come online. Like, she usually needs that 3-item spike, which is a little hard for her. That's why she has fallen out of a lot of the meta right now. It's just like, it's a 2-item spike game or a 1-item spike game. Oh, a little fine in the bot lane, though.
Yeah, they look to be taking the advantage here, but not much is going to come of it. Yeah. Mid lane, though, we could be seeing a little bit of something on the boot, and that spear is going to land. That's going to be it. First blood going over to Doubtful on Akuma.
And that's the hard part about being this Kog'Maw. That stun landed from Klex, so he's able to get onto him, able to just start wailing away, and then all of a sudden Spear lands, and Boone, he has his flash still up. Like, he had to flash that spear there if he wanted to survive. The Flawless was down, so there wasn't any worry about flashing then getting stunned, and maybe Boone was just caught with his pants down a little. Maybe it was just a classic case of Summoner spell greed. Who knows? We can't get into the minds of the player, but the result is still the same here.
It is indeed, as we said in First Blood, going over to Akuma. Now, I do want to point something out, as, the colors caught my eye a little bit, but we have 3 TPs on the side of Akuma. Meanwhile, Shock is actually getting really low up here. Don't want to be fighting like that, buddy, against the Shin. That's not going to be fun. The Doubtful has arrived to try and do something. Shockful's got to be really careful, since the trap is going to stop Shadowy Figure. He can't decide which way he wants to go. Is he just going to turn the kill? He flashes for it. Shadowy Figure going to pick that one up. Is he going to go for a second? The greed! Oh, no. Shadowy Figure gets baited into the tower, and he goes down.
Oh my god, I haven't seen someone this greedy since Scrooge McDuck Lemons. Oh my god, like,
I have in my
you
head.
got the kill in the 1 versus 2, like, just take that and go out. You had the dub, but you're just like, you had to push it that
on him. Come on. He's got to get the flex in. It's a 3-game series. Limit testing. No.
I don't know. That just always tilts me, but still, though, going 1-for-1 when you do get ganked like that, it is still technically worth, since he did waste their time, and you were able to go 1-for-1 despite being a man down. Sure, there is a gold advantage going over to the Akuma due to the assist, but hey, you'll take that, because your jungler was able to get that cross-map Ocean Dragon this early on.
Yeah, it feels pretty good for that one. The point I was going to make before all that happened is the TPs for Akuma. There's 3 to 1 in TPs, and I find that is going to be super impactful, because you do have a Shen on the other side, but he's the one with the TP, so he's got all your TP resources pretty much on one person. So it's going to be interesting to see the ebb and flow with that, and see how Klexo, how Shock, and how Pursuer want to use theirs to kind of gain an advantage and continue pressing the advantage that they've already built for themselves.
And that's going to be so obnoxious to deal with later on. Sure, Pursuer probably won't be split pushing on this Vigar. That is more of a cheater's teleport for lane prio, and maybe just like answering some things. You don't typically see very aggressive TPs out of bot lane mages, especially Vigar, who is very squishy, very prone to just kind of getting jumped on. But Klexo and Pool will be the big ones here, and that might be hard to deal with, since Boone won't be able to deal to Cyrelia in a side lane.
Yeah, Shock's getting just bullied here by the Shen. Oh no, the flash forward drop's gonna pick up the kill. The showstopper did come out, but it didn't do anything because he died in the middle of it. Now we're gonna see what Doubtful's response is. Can he get something going? Here's the TP from Klexo. All of a sudden you're in a 4v2 and you're going down. That's gonna be the hop forward from Doubtful, and he's gonna pick up the kill. That's 2 going down on the bot side.
And that is the fun and interactive part about being bot lane nowadays, because you're like, yes, it's a 2 versus 2. Then jungler comes, then mid lane TPs in, and you're like, cool. I'm sorry I tried to trade. Either way, though, I mean, picking up those 2 kills gonna be pretty big. One of them goes on to this Nidalee Doubtful, gonna like that, just to help boost his early game curing potential, but also another kill going on to Pursuer, which is gonna be nice. He is gonna hit his spike a lot earlier than Khalid, just due to mage items costing cheaper, having those better components, being able to scale better with those levels compared to being more or less a pure item scaler like Jinx. So that is a nice pickup here in the bot lane.
It definitely is. We're going to see Boone picking up the blue buff here. I'm gonna try and use that to gain an advantage in mid lane, because that Aurelia is doing pretty good on farm. It hasn't gotten kills for herself, but it has been a part of 3 assists now. So definitely want to kind of slow the roll on Klexo as quickly as you can, because that is one of those win conditions. But also, I just want to point out that we got a little dark seal on Doubtful over there, feeling pretty confident in the Nidalee. Gotta love that.
And I mean, that's not too surprising. This is a pick you do see pretty often on the Nidalees here in the jungle, because that dark seal, it is cheap, it is easy to fit into your jungle budget, and it is a very gold efficient item. So if you snowball, sure, it works out. And you can even upgrade a Mage Eyes if you want. If not, it's not the worst in the world. You will be down a little bit of gold since you do have to sell that. But hey, not the worst thing to deal with, as there might be some action in the bot lane here with Doubtful hovering in this area where it's going to be cleared. Doesn't look like that is going to be the call, however.
doesn't, but it does seem like Doubtful wants to try and get something rolling on this bot side for themselves. You don't have another dragon for about a minute, so just setting up around this bot side could be nice, just trying to get a little bit of priority here. So that's a big spear going to land onto Boss Giovanni, and they're still fighting around that area. Meanwhile, we're going to see the 1v1 on the top side here again. I love to see the constant fighting. Oh my goodness, Drops. You okay, buddy? We are going to have action just developing across the map here. Showstopper actually comes out for Shock here. Is Shadowy Figure going to be able to get it? He gets the taunt through. Shock going to flash forward. He's going to pick up the kill this time around and get that one for himself. Nidalee did go away from this bot side, but has found Boom in the jungle. Nothing going to happen there. And there, Akuma just advancing and pressing over onto the side of Murk's map.
And that's the thing, though, Lemons. Like, Akuma's comp, like, they spike much more earlier. Like, this Irelia... Oh, wait, Pursuer.
Oh, no, Kali. You gotta do the little dance in the middle of it. But here comes Shen. He's coming in to help. Is Forbidden gonna get taunted up? That is gonna land. Is it going over? Kali picking up the kill. Getting that Jinx excited. Going on to Pursuer now, but they're just gonna press down. Now the Dragon has spawned, and they're going right into it. Rift Herald was a little bit panic spawned in the pit, but it's fine. It's fine. They're gonna get the objective.
God, Rift Herald actually has hustle. What is this?
Just sprinting off here, gonna get the little flank on the tower. Now I just get a little picture on the tower, like, oh no!
Like, it's actually some, like, Pepega ass level move speed. Like, it's like 425 move speed. I'm like, what?
Alright, what's up with you?
Champions with boots? Like,
we gotta talk about this. You having issues? Did you have somebody just like stunt on you with movement speed in one of your games? Is that what happened?
I guess. I don't know. I just memorize too much random move speed values because I get bored.
Speaking of moving, we got Shadowy Figure taking the 1v1 now. It is such a back and forth in the top side. It is nuts. Here comes the collateral damage. Not going to get a flat forward from Kali, though. The vision wasn't there, but at least you have the speed to get up and get the attack off. So at least Kali is able to take that one. It is 5-5 after all of this chaos, Gofrino. And we're about even in gold, about 1,000 in Akuma's favor.
If Khalid flashed and then missed that kill because he autoed the minion, I would have just gone off. Good lord. But able to get another kill on this Jinx, which is pretty massive. This Jinx is going to be so massive to deal with. Here comes Doubtful in the top lane.
He's got to be careful. It's going to land. There's the Vanguard's Edge as well. They're just going to go all the way in. The stun doesn't land, but the kill does. And Klexo is going to pick up another one.
And I'm wondering where the Shadow Dash was from Shadowy Figure. Like, is it not up or something? I don't know. Either way, that is going to result in the first tower here. That's going to result in the first kill here for Klexo. Sure, it cost him his flash, but he will gladly take that because this Irelia gets snowballing. That is going to be a lot of side lane pressure.
Definitely is, and you see that Drops is trying to get something going on the Graves, just trying to be as impactful as he can, but you do have Doubtful just praying in your jungle at all times. You got to be careful with those spears, and that's just a frightening moment there. We are seeing Boss Giovanni and Kali trying to take this bot side tower, so at least free up a little pressure on the map, but it's just not working out so far. They need to break one of those towers.
They really do, because, like, honestly, if you're on the side of Murk, you need all the gold you can get to help snowball yourselves towards that late game point where your carries can actually carry. But, of course, that is going to be at least a whiles out, since only 14 minutes in the game. Can't really say much about it right now. Not much scaling has happened.
Yeah.
Since everybody's, like, literally on one item.
It's we're getting there though. We're about to crest the 15-minute mark now. It is going to be a Cloud Soul on this Rift here, so that's going to be a very interesting one to see for this setup. But we are going to see the Stand United come in from Shadowy Figure. That's going to be the taunt that lands the double knockout from Wild Growth. Used a little early, but the snipe from the Mega Death Rocket's going to land. Now they're going to try to continue it. There's the stun, but Drops has arrived. He's getting the back line. Here comes the Showstopper in the middle, but Shockpool's all out in the middle of no man's land. And he's going to go down. That's going to be a huge pickup for Murk, and they're going to continue trying to scale in this game.
And that's the thing, when you want to try and get a pick against a composition. Oh, here's Doubtful.
Well, he's a little bit in trouble. Here's another one of those TPs, but that's going to be the primordial burst, ending the life of Kali. Caught out a little bit. Klexo just comes in for a little bit of flair, too.
Honestly, primordial burst should just be renamed to power skill, since it is the most skillful ability in League of Legends. Doubtful looking for a mid lane gank. Gonna miss the spear.
Across the board here. Boone's actually going to get away potentially. There's dodge. Nice little movement speed there. Here comes the return. I don't know. You're overstaying at this point, though. Shadowy figure coming in to provide a little bit of backup. It is a 3v2. Don't know if they want to take it completely, though, as they're just looking for the poke outs at this point. This is just kind of a stalemate. Now Doubtful's making the run for the scuttle, and they're going to get it. So the fight's going to disperse, and nothing's going to happen.
Yeah, and Boone didn't even have to use a summoner there. He held on to his flash, which is kind of amazing, because we were criticizing about him, you know, being a little greedy with that flash for that first split earlier this game, but this time those Nerves of Steel do pay off, and he's able to save that so crucial summoner on this Kog'Maw, plus also just waste the time of the Nidalee, because the Nidalee is going to fall off. If she has her time wasted in this early game, that means she's not being able to use her most powerful point in the game. So technically a very small win if we do want to overanalyze it like I just did.
True.
But maybe I'm just looking a little too much into things.
So the dragon has spawned. This is going to be the third of the game spawning, and it does look like Akuma want to go ahead and start it up, though. You need to be careful. You got the TP now coming in from Shadowy Figures, so it is going to be a full 5v5 with Klexo coming down on the flank. They actually have a good positioning here. The dragon's going to be the focus right now for Akuma, who's going to be able to take it. They are able to. No contest coming out. Giovanni's going to get stunned up. Showstopper right into the team. That's followed by the Haymaker. The Vanguard's edge over top, and the numbers are starting to fall here for Murk. As Shadowy Figures in the middle of it all, the artillery is not enough from Boone. And also, Kali was a bit engaged outside of the fight, so not going to be able to help.
Kali can look for this.
Rockets in.
Oh, yeah, never mind. No,
that's a bit rough on the side of Murk. They do give up the dragon as well, so that's a big win for Akuma.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, and that's the thing here with Murk's composition. Like, they can't run into fights like that. They do best when they're engaged on. You have a Shen, you have a Lulu, like, you want people to run into you, and they can't exactly really run towards the enemy comp all that well, especially when the Vygar has that Event Horizon cage, you know, just to put down and say, no. Like, we saw it there, and Giovanni did actually sadly get stunned by the fadeaway Event Horizon there. It looked really wonky because it was technically invisible, but you still get stunned. Like,
yeah.
There's a reason why people hate the Vygar cage. That is one of them. There are many reasons to hate Vygar cage.
There's many reasons.
Totally not a salty ADK main here. You know, just casually being able to block off an entire lane or jungle path with a single basic ability that also has 2.5 seconds to maybe a little strong. I don't know, just me.
It sounds like you're a little salty here. I don't know if you've been to the ocean recently or what's going on there. I don't know about gophers and oceans. I feel like they don't really go together. I'm kind of questioning where you've been, my friend. As Shock is going to get a nice engage with that Showstopper, bringing Shadowy Figure back over the other side to pick up a kill, and that's going to be a killing spree for the set. And it was during all that wonderfulness that we were just talking about. Doubtful did pick up the Rift Herald, so they could be looking to use that. Doesn't look like they are, but they are going to be able to push. Meanwhile, bot side is going to be Klexo feeling real confident at that moment as he throws up the little moo cry because he wasn't able to pull it off.
I mean, that's just the power of the Irelia right now. Already has the Blade of the Rune King, has that 30 MR from the Aegis there, and looking to atomize towards that Death Stance. Like, there's just too much healing on this Irelia in that sideline for this Kog'Maw to really deal with at this stage in the game. Sure, you have the poke, but the Irelia is just going to heal like, what, 100 health every auto, it feels, so it's going to be a little bit of a rough going. Technically, though, Boone does come out on top there. It cost his exhaust there, I believe. And Klexo actually used both Flash and the Vanguard's Edge there. So, a 2-for-1 deal. That's always nice to get if you are that Kog'Maw on a sideline.
It definitely is, and you're going to be looking at that power spike, trying to work your way towards that. And no objectives on the map means farm time for both teams. There's 2 minutes for another one, and that's going to either be Murk going on Cloud Point or Cloud Soul Point, or it's going to be tying up the Dragon. So I'm really excited to honestly see what Akuma's response is, because I know for a fact that Murk Nimbus are going to be wanting to fight over that.
Because Cloud Soul, it's always very powerful, especially when you look at this Murk Nimbus comp. Like, they will really appreciate that extra 10% MS if they do get that soul, since they do have to do a lot of kiting on this comp, and you know, just the general map rotations are always nice, but especially the lowered cooldown on that wild growth and that Stand United is going to be so clutch for these late game team fights. Boone, though, he's going to find Shock Pool.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of trouble here for the Kog'Maw. Showstopper comes out, and Boone just trying to lay down the artillery. Nobody's going to get him. He actually gets out. Oh, my goodness. What is... they have to be able to try and get him here or go for it. Double is going for it. Doubtful is going to flash over the wall. Here comes the Panther. Slice and dice, but it's not going to be enough. The drops just ends it all with a big old grenade. And Boone gets out. Saving Private Ryan version 7.0.
And no one on the side of Murk died.
I can't believe it, honestly.
No, died was forbidden. Like,
oh my goodness. And it's because, honestly, Shock had the opportunity to do the last hit, but he thought that they were going to be able to pick it up with Doubtful or Klexo or somebody being there, but it wasn't enough, and he just stepped away because he didn't want to pick up the kill, but let alone it just ended up in Boone getting out. So that just feels so incredibly bad. Now we're going to see the TP play here. You got to think Akuma are looking to get a revenge play at the moment. Maybe not the best ideal to have, but could be influencing the decisions at this moment.
And look at the Stand United cooldown. It still has over 50% of that cooldown left, so we're talking about roughly a little over a minute here, but the dragons already spawned, so I'm curious to see what the call is here. Because the first two dragons of the game that we did see go over to Murk, it was because they yeah,
that was so close.
But it was kind of because they were able to get picks. But oh, that's a big spear. Here's the spooky ghosts.
Yeah, the nice smoke screen though. Now the TP coming in from Shadowy Figure. Are they going to be able to turn this around? Shadowy Figure having to dodge out the stuns there. Everybody having some nice fancy footwork at the moment. Feeling pretty good for both sides, honestly. But we get to see their artillery coming down now by Boone. He's looking to catch up the phase rush and proc. And just that poke damage on the back side of those fights is so big. Mega Death Rocket's not gonna hit anybody.
But sadly, that is another dragon going over to Akuma here. If you are the side of Murk, you're a little bit sad about that. It's not the end of the world, but that soul win con is always a nice thing to pick.
You just don't get to talk over. Well, okay, now you do. Of course, when we call it out.
Yeah, that's the caster curse there.
Caster curse from the casters.
Shockpool has actually kind of made a bit of a name for himself here. He now has those 5 kills on the set, which is kind of spooky. Has those 2 items. Also has the tab eyes, which will be helping out a very large amount against this Murk composition, because Shen, Graves, Jinx, even AP Kog'Maw, they will all auto you, and some of those quite a lot. And just being able to reduce that damage is going to be so nice when you combine that with the healing on that Blade the Rune King and Conqueror.
It is a very potent combo. You do get to see that Klexo is going for that Death Stance, who just completed it as we speak. Man, we should just start prophesizing some stuff, though, Farina, because everything that we say seems to be coming true.
Tell me the lottery numbers.
Please tell me the lottery numbers. We are seeing the item breakpoints being hit a little bit here. We're seeing a couple items now coming through. Still really waiting on that 3rd item, which this is probably going to be a long, drawn-out game here. Go for it. We're 2-2 in Dragons. We have 25 minutes in. Not too much kills. You have a decent gold lead at the moment for Akuma, but it's really about how they press that advantage, because it's scaling time for Nimbus, and I'm gonna see Shadowy Figure get a bit sketchy there. The Doubtful wanted it, but realizes it is a Shen, and you can't exactly just burn them down.
Yeah, well, You technically can, Shen, since you have the Sunfire cape. It's just a very drawn-out process. So it's
on point.
good throwback to the old 6 Sunfire Evelyn strap from Season 1. I never saw it myself, but it kind of sounds disgusting.
Alright, they're trying again. This is round 2. They brought another member down here. It's cage fight time. But they aren't going to be able to do it. Now Drops has arrived. There's another cage popping out. Collateral damage going to be used there a bit prematurely, but it was trying to get out of the stun for Drops. And at least they dissuade the fight.
At least they do. But if you're Murk, you do try and want to pick up some kills here. Like, you want the gold so you can scale, and getting a nice shutdown, even if it is only like 150 gold shutdown, that means all the more when you are on the scaling composition. Like, every little bit of gold helps you that much more. Either way, though, this game has been relatively calm in terms of kills for the past several minutes. The only one I can really think about was that one kill onto Forbidden with that top lane pick onto Boone, which didn't really kill him.
Yeah, that just feels bad. But honestly, at this point in the game, I mean, you got to be a little bit more decisive in those moments. But well, hopefully it's just game 1. You got to warm up a little bit. You got to get the juices flowing, and this drawn out game is definitely going to do that.
And now even Boone, there's that Leandre's coming in. Drops did just also finish his Death Dance. Those are 2 big purchases, because the Death Dance, it means this Graves will be able to frontline somewhat-ish, especially if he has a Stand United on him. Just having all that damage reduction, having those extra resists will be big. But now with that Leandre's 2, this poke is going to start hurting from this Kog'Maw, and with this up-and-coming Dragon, what I want to see Boone just start laying down that artillery barrage. I want to see... Oh, we might not get to see that, though.
Yeah, Shockful getting the early engage here. It's going to be a haymaker, but doesn't have anything available now. There's the showstopper right into the back line. Boss Giovanni getting so low, but they're turning it now. On the backside, you do have the Kog'Maw wailing away. The Stand United's coming down, but Klexo's hammering at him. The Shin isn't going to come to help you today as he went down. Now it's a 1v1 between the junglers. Doubtful's going to get hit by the tower. That's so close. Boone is buying as much time as he can, but he's going to run into a bit of a pickle of a situation, and he's going to be taken out. That's killing sprees abound for Akuma, and they're going to start up that dragon.
And it looked like such a nice start to the fight there by Murk, but crucially, Shadowy Figure was not able to land that Shadow Dash taunt onto Shockful. That's what allowed him to get that absolutely massive haymaker that hit 4 people there and nearly just took out Giovanni there. And Shockful coming in absolutely clutch with that ultimate to help his team secure that fight. That's going to be their 3rd Cloud Dragon in this game, and it's going to be Baron. There's the teleport actually coming out from Shadowy Figure. Let's see what the contest is like.
Yeah, looks like they want to come into the fight. We're going to see the engage onto Pursuer. He's going to go golden and buy some time here. The Baron's still going. There's another showstopper, because why not? Triple cooldowns coming in. And they're going to continue to go on to Drops, who went down now. Shadowy Figure in the front line. Kali is trying his best to get all the damage. The Runeans is making work. All he does is need to get excited. Is this the turnaround? Is this where Kali turns the game for Nimbus? He's got 2. Can he pick up more? He cannot. That's the cage that's going to put the baby down in nap time. But Kali's still coming up with another one. Triple finally coming through for the Jinx. And you can finally say you are online, my friend.
God. 6 and 3 on this Jinx. He have these 3 items which are so core. Kali, from now on, I wouldn't be surprised if we just see pure defensive itemization come out of this Jinx. Like, you already know, if you are on the side of Akuma, you are eyeing up that Jinx like she is a bullseye. But who knows? Maybe this Jinx gets a Death Dance. Maybe this Jinx gets a Bloodthirst or a QSS, and then she becomes that much harder to kill. And if you have to struggle to kill a Jinx, you already have lost the fight.
Oh my goodness, that's I feel like Kali kept it pretty cool in those moments. It's real easy to get. I mean, obviously I think the direction maybe wasn't the way you wanted to go, but it still ends up in a nice little bit of kills for the Jinx, and really just being able to funnel gold into the pockets of that Jinx is going to be so crucial for Nimbus. And really looking at that. I love that it was Boone and Kali who are the ones left. Everybody else falls, but the carries are alive, and that's exactly what you want to see.
Still, though, I mean, Akuma, they were able to pick up the Baron there. Sure, they lost it on several of their members. I'm just taking a quick tap through. Yeah, it's only Shockpool and Pursuer who have the Baron buff right now, and that kind of makes me question Doubtful's decision to try and get that solo kill that much more. Like, sure, you're able to take down Giovanni, but you trade support for jungler, and you lose a Baron buff. Shockpool.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to see a kill here, but
nah, Shockpool's
certainly a lot of action. And, Lemons, look at this item inventory for Boone. He now has a Rylai's. That is going to be so disgusting, because if one artillery barrage lands on you, you're going to be slowed. That's percentage HP damage from the Leandries, and it's going to be harder to dodge the next one. Like, oh my.
Shockpool is having a good time on the top side, though. We're actually going to see the 3v1 here.
Maybe not for much longer.
Those rockets do a lot of damage. They don't want to commit, though, because they know that they are getting pushed in on the other sides of their base, and they still need to be careful about that. And right now, it's just kind of bouncing in between all the lanes, making sure you're able to defend these towers.
And it should be a decently easy time to guard out these towers, because there are only 2 members with that Baron buff. Plus, also, you do have that Kog'Maw who can clear waves decently well, but it's also just that nasty poke coming out. Like, this, triple, 2.5-ish melee comp, Doubtful. Galleys in a little bit of both, but they don't really have the best time sieging, and that just opens them up to getting hit by barrage after barrage, and I want to see this Kog'Maw start coming in, because I feel like I've been hyping up Boone all game, like, he's going to be such a poke machine. Once he gets these 2 items, oh, he has that Rylai's power spike now, it's like,
yeah.
I want to see him start coming online here, Lemons, because we have a dragon coming up in a minute. I want to see this Kog'Maw put all this gold to use, because currently 1, 2, and 2, that's 25% kill participation in a 32-minute game. That is a little sus. I want to see a little bit better out of this Kog'Maw.
Yeah, and what's crazy to me right now when we're looking at the gold is that you have these 2 members from Nimbus who are super ahead in gold, who are feeling really good, yet they're still at a 6k deficit right now. And we might be seeing why just here, as we're going to see the fight potentially come through. Now you got to be careful. There's the Stand United. It's going to land on a Shockpool. Can he do it? That's the showstopper right into the back line. Nulu almost gets one-shot and does! And the fight's just going to continue. Members are getting low. Is this the carry time for Boone as the artillery is raining hell here? But can he finish him off? It's just not landing. And he's going to try to get as much as he can, but that is a fight Akuma will take all day long. They're looking at the Dragon Soul and could be potentially looking to secure that for themselves, but the fight is going to come through from Drops and Boone. They need to be sure at how they're going to execute this.
And once again, that massive showstopper just absolutely destroying everyone. We see them have to walk in to
the... He might be going for the steal. He gets it! He's going to steal it away and tie up the Dragons 3-3. What a play from Drops!
Oh, and getting that singular Cloud Dragon is going to be so nice for the composition, but more so just denying that soul from the enemy team. Like, you look at this Akuma composition here, Lemons, and if they get that Cloud Soul move speed, that is going to be so disgusting to deal with. And thankfully, for the side of Murk, they aren't going to have to worry about that Baron, since that is another 45-ish seconds out, and then Drops will be well and alive by then.
Oh, that feels so bad for Doubtful. Not able to secure that for his team. That would have been huge to press their momentum here, and you buy more time for Nimbus to scale, and that's not where you want to be.
I mean, at least thankfully for them, the Cloud Soul. Oh, shadowy figure.
Oh my goodness, can we make that the new soul? Cloud Soul?
Yeah, I guess. It is, so it's definitely in. Don't
It's
know
definitely
how fashionable it is.
You're right. Get on that right now, please.
Either way, though, the Baron said coming out. I want to see what happens here, because a little bit of a death brush trap here, and if you do walk into 3 members here, you aren't going to survive, even if you do have that Stand United on you.
Yeah, it's getting closer every time. Those squishy members are getting just blown up. As I've seen Boss Giovanni's health just get dropped over and over in these fights, and I've seen them press an aggressiveness towards the top side of the map. We're gonna see the 1v1 continue here for Jihad Figure and Shockpool. He's looking to actually turn it right now. He's getting some good damage across, but you gotta be careful. Set is just so strong. Look at those punches. You'd think Shen would have some defense at that point, having some armor, having some of that, but it's just hard to put down a set that is this strong and at this break point.
Yeah, like, and what's even more ridiculous now is that Shockpool with this double lifesteal itemization as is kind of very trendy right now for most top laners. He's already back to full health, even though...
exactly. That's it. The shadowy figure is just going to get dropped into the ground and eventually dropped into the grave here. He's going to survive, though. Shockpool not willing to take a couple extra tower shots, risking his life. And Shen's going to survive another day. I was going to say shadowy figure. I don't know about that one, buddy. I might not want to back right there, but it's definitely tough sledding there. We're going to see a DC from drops, unfortunately, so I'm sure we'll be back in the game very shortly.
Yeah, but I think we are going to have to cut it to a quick break here on the desk while this pause does sort out, since there is kind of a lot to digest right now with the current game state. So don't go anywhere. We will be back in just a second.
We are back onto Summoner's Rift. Sorry about the technical difficulties there, but we're bringing you the action here. Tied up with about a 9k gold lead here for Akuma. It's the story of scaling for Nimbus, as it's tied up 3-3 in Dragons as well. That's going to be a big point of contention coming up in about 2 minutes. Gopher.
Yeah, because both these teams are literally on soul point elements. Like, there's gonna be no other elemental dragons after this. There's gonna be Elder, but that's not exactly an elemental dragon. Like, there isn't an element called Elder. At least last time I checked on the periodic table, there's no like Elder Minium.
I don't know, man. Maybe check the new updated 2021.
That's true. There was a recent patch notes for it.
Patch notes for elements. Gotta love it.
I mean, the Elements tier list has drastically changed over time. Like, back in the day, there's only, like, 5 element champions on the tier list. Like, what, Fire? Basically, the Avatar elements, and then there's, like, one more. I forget which one.
Alright, so, speaking of Avatar, I know this is a really random tangent. Did you see that they added the Avatar champions to Smite?
I saw that.
That is so weird to me. Like, I kind of like it, because I think it's interesting, but, like, I feel like that's like a no-go. I feel like you shouldn't be able to do that.
I feel like it's cool, and I like the precedent in sets. Like, there might be some cool crossovers. Like,
Yeah.
it's also just kind of memey. It's like, here we have Zeus, Thor, and Aang. It's like,
And Aang.
I don't remember reading a legend. I mean, from what I know about Avatar, he's like literally a godlike figure because he like masters all the elements or something. But
yeah, true.
I
All
don't
right.
know.
Speaking of elements, though, we do have our final elemental Drake coming in. Nice transition there, TM. Coming through in about 20 seconds in, and we are very close to seeing a big fight between the teams. It does look like Murk want to try to get the better positioning on this one. Stand United is available. You do see Shadowy Figure coming up the flank here. It's all about when he pulls the trigger on that, and if he's going to. It does look like Akuma just want to turn on him, though. And the Vision Wars are going to continue in front of the pit. The dragon is spawned, though. So who is going to start it up? Oh, flash forward from Shock on the bot side of the fight. They're going to kind of collapse there. They're going on to Shadowy Figure, though. And that's the target you're trying to go for. On the backside, Shock is just taking a 1v3 and getting away with it. Drops is going to be in the middle of the fight. He finally drops. The Jinx is excited. This is the moment. This is the turnaround for Kali. Can he do it, though? The carries again. It's only Kali and Boone against the entirety of Akuma besides Shock. And that is just not at the moment where you want to be, because they are turning their eyes onto this objective. They have the jungler and you don't. It is going to be a miracle that you can do anything about this.
And dear God, like, there's nothing the backline has been able to do about Shockpool, because usually Lulu is so great at deterring these melee threats. But the thing is, like, Giovanni, he's so squishy right now, has no armor, has no health. So every time a single set ability lands, like, he just kind of drops over and dies. Like, what are you to do? But this looks like it is going to be another Baron. That is the teleport coming out. Let's see what happens here. Drops isn't alive to contest this. There are double carries. There's a Stand United, and maybe there's a Dream Lemons.
You have everybody trying to come into the pick. Ali's already low. That's going to be the Vanguard Edge already used on the Shadowy Figure, who has to run. Now Shock pulls back in the fight, and that's when you know the tails are running. The tails are tucked between the legs, but they're actually turning it around now as the team focused on the Baron. That's going to be Shockpool going down. Do they just commit at this moment? Baron at 2K. Who's going to take it? It is going to be the Nidalee securing that one, but the members are going to fall. Do they give up everything yet again for the Baron? Klexo needs to pull off a miracle here in the 1v3. He's just going to be left out in the dust by his teammates. Can he make quick work of him? He cannot. Shut down onto the Graves. Drops getting the benefit of that trade down.
And the scaling has come online. We see what happens when Shockpool isn't able to get into that backline, isn't able to just instantly kill this Lulu. Like, we saw him do his whole shenanigans, his whole parade, his whole coleslaw deal, whatever it is the kids call it nowadays, and he wasn't able to get things. He had to walk away. And when he's walking away, that means the Kog'Maw, that means the Jinx. They're both wailing on you with their super range. And this Jinx has been online, is going to absolutely shred through you.
Yeah, and the thing
honestly, Akuma, it felt like that Baron was a bit of a sunk cost fallacy. They're like, I know they kind of had to commit, had to finish it.
They floated it for so long. At that moment, you just have to turn it and go for it. But they got caught with their pants down there, as you like to say, go Farino. We're going to see a showstopper come in on the Shadowy Figures and be dragged to his death as well. And that's a bit of an overextension from Nimbus. So I think he'll be able to follow up. Doubtful's looking here. He's praying as Cougar form comes out here, potentially making a game throw. That's going to be Vanguard's Edge from the backside from the TP of Klexo, who's going to take down Boss Giovanni. That helpful is not there. Boone has no mana either. Going to go golden, buy some time. Going to go down, shut down, going over. And all of a sudden, you thought that Murk were taking over. They were starting to build back that gold lead. The overextension comes out. The TPs that we had highlighted beforehand that could be so crucial comes through, and Akuma back on top.
And they still do have that one Baron buff. That is thankfully all you need if you do have a 5-man push. That's going to be an inhibitor here at the very least, and they might look to end the game here.
Yeah, they could. If they can pick one more member, really getting Kali here is going to be trapped in the damage, and that is it. That is going to be Akuma targeting the objectives here, going for the Nexus. Does Drops have it? He doesn't. The Q shield, or the Mantra shield from Forbidden, is going to be all that she wrote. And that's going to be the Nexus falling. Akuma take game number 1.
What a hell of a game number 1 that was, Loans. Like,
42 and a half.
so back and forth. Yeah, 42 minutes. Like, you don't see 42-minute games every day. Usually they're like 28-ish minutes tops, and then you call like a 33 to 35-minute game long. But here we are with an extra 7.5 minutes worth of content for our beloved viewers, all for free too.
Is it? I'm starting to think of a synergy between Banger and Fiesta. I think we just call these games Banger Fiestas because they are a little bit Fiesta. But bangers. They are also bangers. So, like, you just smash the two together like any good combination of food or anything else, and it works out. So, I don't know. I'm so excited for this series, and this is week 1 of the playoffs, Coperino. This is the spiciness that we're getting. These comps are lit, and hopefully they get to continue the action we've seen so far, those long games. We got to see some serious back and forth, though, in this one, so it gives me hope for Murk Nimbus to be able to really claw back this series after that loss.
Yeah, and I mean, thankfully for Murk Nimbus, even if they do lose here, there is a loser's bracket, so they do have that second lifeline if needed. Hopefully it doesn't go to that for them. But either way, Akuma Katanas, they did come out pretty strong in this game number 1. They did have a lead all game long. Sure, there was a little bit of shakiness around that last Baron, and sure, they did have some trouble picking off members through, of course, the Stand United. But hey, a dub is a dub, and they will take it.
They will indeed, but that's going to be it for game number 1 here. Make sure you don't go anywhere, because on the other side of this break, we have game number 2 coming right at you. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We have arrived at game number 2 of the playoffs round 1 in the Divine League for Murk Nimbus against Akuma Matatas. I'm just going to go with it now. It's the Akuma Katanas. Go Farino here joining me. How you feeling after that game number 1?
Oh, God. Razzed and jazzed, baby. Like, that was such an invigorating game number 1. Like, what else is a better way to start off the Risen playoffs here for the Divine League? Like, come on. I'm waiting, Lemons. Like, you got to tell me.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so we're getting through the picks and bans here with the side swap coming through it. Very interesting choice of names on the other side. But anyways, we do have the Ezreal, the Wukong, the Graves taking out on the blue side. We do have Soraka, Vigar, and Volibear taking out on the red side. First pick set coming through, and Drag is going to be the follow-up here.
And that set was just such a great power pick for Akuma Katana's last game. Like, we saw the damage it could do. Sure, it went very even in the laning phase, but of course, Set being a bruiser slash juggernaut is able to outscale the 1v1 against the very tanky Shen. And it just spelled so much difficulties for them coming into those late game team fights. I do like this as a first pick, even though I do know there are a lot of people out there who are very anti Set first pick. That being said, though, we are flying to the pick and ban here. The response here from Murk Nimbus is going to be that Gragas Ashe, which is a lot of CC. It is a lot of disruption and can potentially bring in a lot of dissuasion for any all-in shenanigans that can come out here, because Olaf, he wants to go in.
He does. You know, he does have a nice tool to make sure he can go in, and giving the karma does help. So that is a really scary situation there for anybody involved, honestly. The Swain actually going to come through, though. That's a bit of a spicer there, Gopher.
Yeah, actually, I do believe that this is in one of their champ pools. The support here, I believe, for Boss Giovanni, he is actually a very huge Swain support player in solo queue. So I'm curious to see how this works out, because the Claw of Death, well, the what's it? The Bird Claw or whatever.
The Bird Claw, the Claw of Death. I like the Claw of Death.
I can only remember Demonic Ascension and Right of an Empire. The W. Or no, it's Vision of the Empire? I don't know. He's got some wacky ass names. Either way, though, we have finished up the second round of pick ban here, and the LeBlanc coming through basically confirms that this is going to be a Swain support.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting combo between the Ashe and that Swain, but I'm sure they are going to have something nicely prepared for it there. We did get through the bans as well, as you were mentioning. The Mordekaiser Ornn come off the board on the blue side. The Sivir Varus come off on the red, really focusing down that AD pool, so no doubt going to see it come through here. Is that going to be it? It's the Blitzcrank coming out for Akuma.
And this Blitzcrank pick into the Ashe is just so deadly, because sure, the Ashe can throw out the volleys, sure, she can kind of like chip away at you, but you always have that throw of the hook. You always can just yank that Ashe into your team, absolutely destroy her. And I want to see the 80k that's paired with this Blitzcrank, because you kind of want a little bit more oomph in the spot link to pair with that Blitzcrank, and Tristana definitely brings a lot of all-in potential.
I was going to say, you need umph. You're going to call one person, Go Farino. That's going to be the explosive expert herself, Tristana, coming through for Akuma. And that is some serious pick potential for them. Got to see what the response is going to be here. What's the final pickup, more than likely? Going to be this top lane pickup, at least for the side of Nimbus.
They are going to...
Oh!
Like, all right. A little bit of a skill matchup in the top lane. As you know, that shadowy figure has played the Riven and does play the Riven. Not exactly the most experienced or well-played champ by him. Well, most played, I should say. But it is going to be curious to see, because you are down. If you lose this game, you are knocked to the losers bracket here. So shadowy figure must be very confident on this Riven pick.
It does, I don't know. For me, Go Farino, it seems like they are a little bit all over the place. When you look at Akuma's draft, you see a defined concept. I mean, a little bit wonky with the Blitzcrank added in there, but it still works out because you get the pick potential. You have all that follow up there. With the other side, it just see, and where this can work out is the fact that these guys are comfortable in these picks, but you just see a lot of individual strengths, maybe not team synergy, maybe not that team strength that you look for in the later parts of the game.
And I do have to agree with you on that one. The Katanas here definitely coming out on top in terms of draft here, much more cohesive. And I mean, Murk's comp, like, this is a very solo QS comp.
Oh,
like,
yeah, for sure.
Damage in every lane. Like, you literally have Swain support. Like, I know that's his most played role now, but it's still like Swain support. Like, you're still gonna do some decent damage on him. LeBlanc can carry. She does a buttload of damage. Gragas can carry. He can do a buttload of damage. And Riven is like the quintessential solo queue champion, up there with Lee Sin, up there with Zed, up there with Vayne. Like, you can do so much on these champs, but Murk Nimbus, this is a very, very hard case of you gotta win lane in order to win the game.
You definitely do, and that is the name and game of League of Legends here. But yeah, it's going to be a pretty volatile game, I feel like, either way. I mean, after game one, you got to feel like the whole series is going to be volatile. But at this moment, the way that I see it, it's going to be how can Murk really just put a stamp on this game, get started early, get going. I want to see the LeBlanc pop off, at least somebody pop off. You've got so many options here, and hopefully we'll be able to get to see that from them.
Because, I mean, with this Gragas locking in the jungle, you can make a lot of magic happen.
Yeah.
Really. Like, all your lanes even have crowd control here to follow up on a body slam or flash body slam or casket. Like, you certainly can't make the magic happen early, but you're gonna have to make it happen. Like, Murk Nimbus, they have to be turbo proactive in this early game, and if they aren't able to do that, the Katana side might just out-comp and outscale them to a degree.
I just love to see the Tristana come in as well. You get the resets and everything going well with the comp that they have. It's just going to be so hard to walk away from. You do have that nice mobility for the side of Murk Nimbus, though. So I just think it's going to be a fun game. It's going to be a fun game for us. It's going to be a fun game to watch. And honestly, I need to see Murk Nimbus punch back here. And they had a topsy-turvy game number one. It was pretty back and forth, but when the decisions that mattered came up, they fell a little bit short. So shoring that up in game number two is exactly what I'm looking for.
And I mean, with both these comps locked in, it is going to be an absolute bloodfest here. I think it might be a little bit of a play-by-play limit testing sort of game here with just how much bloodiness can happen around the map. Like, all these lanes from Murk Nimbus, they can kill. All these lanes, except for the Karma mid from the Katanas, can go in and get kills here. So, I mean, it's going to be pretty bloody. Hopefully, the Red Cross is around to get some blood donations. I think they do kind of need those. I don't keep up with the blood donation metagame, but I'm pretty sure they're always accepting donations.
Hey, yeah, and I'm sure that there's going to be some mighty donations coming out. But the other thing that I do want to focus on a little bit more here is this jungle matchup and how it's going to really affect everywhere, because we already saw that it is pretty heavily balanced, with Doubtful being the fire starter, I guess, for Akuma, at least in that game number one, and Drops actually being a pretty strong force for his side as well, trying to get them to go to the objectives, trying to be the shot caller. It's seemingly, obviously, from the top level. And now with this Gragas, this Olaf matchup, it's going to be really key to how the rest of the game is going to kind of play out and how the bridges are going to be formed between the lanes.
Yeah, because, I mean, at the end of the day, League of Legends is a team game. You can't just have 5 separate bridges. You have to have one strong bridge to the enemy nexus. Like, as if you have 5 short bridges, sure, that's multiple lanes, and if one bridge collapses, you still have another 4, but none of those bridges are exactly going to reach the nexus here, so...
Can we call in a bridge expert? Do we know anybody along those lines?
There is a very strong architectural program at my school, so I might actually know a few good bridge builders IRL.
Oh, wait, it's COVID. Whoops. Anyways, moving away from that, we are about to get ready for game number 2 in this best of 3 in the round 1 of playoffs for the Divine League of Risen Esports. Do not go anywhere, because we get to see the action unfold, and if we are going to see Murk Nimbus fall down to the loser's bracket or maybe punch back. We'll be right back. We are back and on to Summoner's Rift. Sorry about the break. We had to make sure to give Mowgli the cat his fancy feast for the evening, but we are ready to go with this game number 2. And we have Akuma Katanas on the blue side while Murk Nimbus taking up that red side.
Oh, Lord, and this is the most standard ass 5-man fan I've ever seen. Like, there wasn't even any thought put into like, yeah, maybe we do a little bit extra here or there. Like, no, we're just starting out 5-man. We're gonna have our junglers drop their wards level 1 back to get their sweepers. Like, God, it's so standard it hurts, but it's standard for a reason.
I was just gonna say it's standard for a reason. We do see the cleanse coming through for Pursuer, so gonna be able to have that CC dissuasion there against all the CC that they are bringing. So feels good that the brains are there, the thoughts are there, but still looking at Murk Nimbus to really execute on this composition they've pulled together for themselves.
Because, I mean, we said it in Champion Select. I'll say it again here, Lemons. Like, they have to win lane. They have to do that in order to win the game. So, Drops, he's going to have a lot on his back. Sure, we can see Boone and Shadowy Figure potentially get some solo kills here, but this Gragas is going to have to be the real catalyst in order to get this game going on all cylinders here if you are a Murk fan.
Yeah, and I'm really interested in this matchup between Boone and Klexo. I think Klexo had a really good performance on the Aurelia. He's on the Karma this time around, so not exactly the most carry potential. I mean, obviously as a team you do, but not that solo pop-off potential. So really looking to see if Boone can take advantage of that in any way, shape, or form. And again, back to your point, just trying to win that lane, trying to make sure that you are taking the advantage where you can.
And there should be a fairly easy lane win here for Boone, because the thing is, like, Karma is not able to do anything into that LeBlanc. Like,
Oh,
you can use your shield, and sure, that can help you sponge up some damage. The thing is, it's like, the LeBlanc just has so much damage. She can so easily bait you in with a single distortion in, then you're forced to use your shield. Then you won't have the next type top laners, though.
I don't know. I just feel like, you don't really want to be going against a deck as a Riven oh my goodness. That feels so bad. Riven, I don't know if you know this, doesn't have any health at level 1. So, like, those shots, that, like, base haymaker from Shockpool almost did a quarter of her health. So that's unfortunate for Shadowy Figure. Need to see that pulled around because that is not sticking to the game plan that we laid out.
God, because the Riven does actually rely a lot on the items to scale her. Unlike other top lane bruisers, like, she is so much more reliant on getting that attack damage and getting that CDR because it just feeds into her kit that much. Might have a scuffle between the junglers here, actually, that is spotted out. I don't think Drops is going to try and go on Doubtful here, especially with the state of top lane, but
We are going to see the engage here. Doubtful is just going to target onto Shadowy Figure, picking up the undertow. Is that going to be it? As Shadowy Figure falls again, and now Drops has to flash away. Those things are definitely turning in favor of Akuma at the moment, as they're sitting at a good advantage for themselves starting out and really stopping the solo lane prowess that was what Murk were trying to go for.
But that's a beautiful
back range hook onto Kali. Oh man, not gonna be able to get all the bombs proc though, because Pursuer was looking to make sure he could get out of that one, but that's gonna be a big one. Now we're gonna see continue. I guess it is limit testing for play-by-play today, because we're gonna see in the mid lane, Doubtful has arrived and he's picking up kills left and right. That's 2 already for the Akuma jungler, and they got their katanas out this time.
Man, you've heard of mic check. Now get ready for vocal cord check here, because honestly, that's just going to be happening all game long with all the action we've seen so far. Doubtful has been doing such a great job of being able to run around the map and apply pressure. Another all-in in this top lane. Shadowy Figure, I don't know if you want to take this, buddy.
That's it. Yeah, Shadowy Figure getting really low. The Haymaker not available to conquer a proc for Shockpool. If Shadowy Figure had gone any more forward, that was going to be another kill for Shockpool. He's got to really be careful on this one.
Because this is just already such a colossal top lane diff coming out.
Yeah,
like
crazy. Double farm.
Over double his CS. It's almost a 1,000 gold differential. And sure, I know a lot of people might look at this and go like, oh, it's only 2 longsword advantage. But you have to remember, it's 2 longswords to just a Doran's Blade. Like, you have so much extra combat stats. That's already going to be the cutlass here, actually, for Shockpool. It's like, it is basically over for Shadowy Figure. He needs time to scale up. Unless Drops comes top within the next couple of minutes before Shockpool hits that 6, like...
I don't know, though, even at this point now. I mean, with that Cutlass, that's huge first set this early on. And if you try to take that 2v1, neither of you really have the health at this moment, because you are going that AP Gragas, you are building that AP early on, and you're not going to have that sustain there. And Shockpool can just turn it around. We've seen how good he is on this champion. So that's a scary prospect for me, and that's not necessarily what you want to be saying if you're on the side of Murk Nimbus.
And look at the inventories here in this top lane. It's a executioner's here.
Yeah, Boone trying to pick up something in mid lane, though. That's going to be a nice chain onto Klexo. He's on this Karma. He can't get away. One more attack is not going to do it. He gets away. Gopher. Oh, no. Things are just not going in the way of Murk Nimbus at this moment. Doubtful showed up as well to dissuade follow-up. But, man, Klexo gets out with a sliver of health.
God, and that's just such a feels bad here, because this should be the one lane that can't super win. Like, top lane is over. Bot lane is going to be, like, kind of even-ish. But if you aren't able to get that kill onto the Karma with that gank, like, what else are you going to do? I just hate to call that this game is already over right now, but...
It's definitely not. I mean, we've seen some throws, okay, Gopher. Like, there's some potential there. Shadowy Figure's getting a showstopper. The Facebreaker's not going to land on that one. Shadowy Figure just trying to hit that level 6 to get something going. And go and see an invade here by Doubtful with his buddies in tow. Let's see if they can fight over it here. The blue buff's just going to go over, though. And they really can't do anything. They just have to react to Akuma being in their side of the jungle.
Oof, and that is such a bad look already. I feel like a broken record, honestly, this game. Like, oh my, that is not how things want to go out for Murk here. Oh my god, that's so terrible for Murk, but they lost these first 3 kills. They lost that first dragon. And then they were getting invaded on, like... If you're on the side of Murk Nimbus, you want to be dictating the game right now. Boon? It's a nice...
All right, we see Klexo with the outplays right now on Boon. He's going to get him very low here, but Boon just going to be using the clone, the mimic, to just fight his positioning the whole time, and Boon's going to be able to get out, heal up. They're both chugging them potions.
Oh my god, and the early Murk tries working out very well for Klexo in this lane. Just having that extra bit of MR against this LeBlanc cover drops. He's hovering around, doesn't... Never mind. Okay, doesn't look like that will be the case in this speed. Hold that thought.
Yeah, that's, I don't know about that one. Drops. Just trying to make something happen, trying to make something work. Meanwhile, we did see the cleanse used by Pursuer on the bot side after the Enchanted Crystal Arrow connected. Now, Boon is going to be in some trouble. Olaf is way behind. He's going man Olaf here. He's just trying to press his way into the back of the turret there, but they're not going to be getting anything from that. Shadowy Figure looking to come down. He's about to have the TP up, so he feels comfortable in making this roam, but nobody else is there to help him. You're getting him back from Boon, who's now staying, but has no real mana to his name, and Shadowy Figure just going to come down, show his face.
And I do absolutely love that movement by Doubtful there, because best case scenario, you get a kill off in that gank, and you help yourself snowball even more on this Olaf, who's actually going Warrior this game instead of the usual Cinder Hulk, just due to how many kills he's gone. However, though, worst case scenario, which is what we saw there, you're able to help pressure that lane, get a very nice recall for your mid laner, and that might even force something. Oh, top lane dies.
Nice, though. That was great movement from Shadowy Figure. That Haymaker is going to go a bit wide. The tower is there. Doubtful flashes to get out with his life still intact. They pick up another kill. It's now 4-0, and Akuma are dominating.
God, and that's 3 kills on this Olaf here for Doubtful. And Olaf with kills early, sure, he won't be able to transition them very well into the later stages of the game. However, Drops, he's caught out.
That's a big catch out, yeah. Drops gets just deleted. A little bit over eager there, potentially. Shockpool now looking at the bad end of a trade on Boon. Is he going to be able to turn this around? I was just about to say just go for the kill, but Boon says, no, sit down. Shockpool goes down.
A 1-for-1 across the map there, and Drops just getting caught with his pants down in the enemy jungle. He's trying to, steal a little buff action there. Like, okay, my top laner died. The enemy jungler's top. Probably taking my camps too, but then he just kind of dies for it. I can't say he saw that coming, because let's just take a look here at the inventories between the two junglers. Lemons, like, Drops, he has those Predator boots. He has an Amp Tome. He has the little Hunter's Talisman. There's a full Warrior and a Kindle Gem on the other side here for Doubtful. Like, this is such a massive jungle differential coming out. Oh my god, this is such a feels.
I don't necessarily agree with the boot complete before the jungle item, but now we're going to see Drops go in. That's Ragnarok. You can't move him, but it's Shadowy Figure going to be able to pick that one up. Now Boon, oh my goodness! Boon needs to get out of there. That was like a 3-shot right there almost. Now Flash from Shockpool getting baited by the LeBlanc, trying to go for that kill, and they actually get out with one. Doubtful is the one to fall.
Drops might be a little caught out here. He is pincered behind enemy lines, although no one's following him, so he could technically get a recall off here. And he's gonna go for that. Okay, I thought he might go for the suicide strats here, but we'll talk a little too far out waiting on. I was about to say, like, that is a very nice 1-for-0 in the favor of Murk there. They didn't even have to give up one of their members there, which I was kind of afraid of with the positioning of Drops, being stuck behind enemy lines kind of hurts. Mid lane, we can see there's a big siege coming out of this mid lane turret, although Directed Cam kind of focused on farming sim in the top lane, it feels.
Well, we're about to get some action around the Dragon Pit here as we have the Ocean Dragon spawning for the second dragon of the game. Shockpool's just going to go for it here. The Showstopper coming through. Again, getting out with no health, a Shadowy Figure. That's got to feel pretty bad for Shockpool, but the dragon has been started by Doubtful.
God, And that's just like one of the worst feelings. That's a hook.
That's one of the worst feelings, Gofrino, as you just have to be left out to dry. Klexo just wants to kill. He's taking the tower. The chain's gonna land. Boone with the outplays as he's gonna kill Klexo. They've all of a sudden just picking up kills here for themselves as Murk Nimbus are making a comeback.
Oh, Shadowy Figure, he wants
this.
this.
Figure feel a little bit confident here. That is a big set. As he's going to use the Haymaker from Shock to get some damage down on a Shadowy Figure. He's going back in. He wants the damage. This is the 1v1. This is the turning point. He takes it. Shadowy Figure making the outplay in the top side.
I honestly thought Shock Pill was way too dummy thick to die there, but Shadowy Figure able to get the outplay on this Riven, able to get that super crucial kill to come back into this lane because this Riven was just falling further and further behind. Had it not been for that kill, had he died there after using his TP, it would have been just even more dire straits in this top lane. Like, imagine if you died there. You'd be 1-4. Your enemy laner would be 2-1-2, have an even larger CS lead over you, and you'd have to walk back to lane, possibly even lose that first tower because there is only one plate there. However, Shadowy Figure, when in the darkest of hour, he's able to pull through and bring a little bit of a light into his life.
Where there's a will, there's a way, Gofrino. You were ready to count them down and out, but the League of Throws is alive. And speaking of throws, potentially Plateau and Forbidden going to be able to catch out Boone here. They do have the angle on him, but he has the LeBlanc, and he's going right to the enemy. That chain is going to connect. The root comes down. The knockup is there. The silence as well. They've got to pick the right target, and they don't have outplays. Oh, the auto attack still went through. That was so good from Boone, though. Not gonna lie.
Had the clone not snapped back, I think that would have worked. But since there is a range on that clone, it does have a snapback range, which is very unfortunate.
He was so close to getting the bait with the stop animation. Oh my goodness.
He was so close to becoming a god, but he flew too close to the sun and burned up instead.
The auto attack just follows over and through the blast brush as well. As the first tower is going to fall here for Akuma, picking up gold, even more gold for themselves. And no objectives up at the moment for them to really focus on, but there are towers that are going to be... Oh, nice little stop from drops there. Shadowy Figure is going to get the premature engage there onto Pursuer. Pursuer flashes. Going to be using that Nimbus cloak there to get some extra speed as the target. Oh, the casket sniped from drops. Now they're turning onto Klexo, and that's going to be Shadowy Figure getting the heal from the kill and staying alive. We are tied up 6-6 in kills. See if Boone is going to survive. He is. We are going to see Akuma get another tower on the top side as well, but the chaos has not subsided just yet.
Wow. Like I said, play-by-play limit testing this game. It's not quite as big of a bloodbath as I imagined. However, this is still a very strong kill ratio coming out from both teams. And honestly, props to Murk Nimbus here for bringing this game back. It was 3-0 in the kills. However, they've been able to bring it back. It is now all tied up in kills. The gold lead has stayed relatively the same. The only real sour spot is the objective differential here. The 2 towers, kind of a big deal. The 2 dragons, also kind of a big deal. So, it's give or take.
It is, and I think the dragons are going to be a big contestation point here for the rest of the game and the rest of the series, but especially in this game, where it's going to be another Cloud Soul here, and both teams really looking forward to having those ultis on shorter cooldowns.
It is going to be rather disgusting. Like, we saw what happened last game when the ultis were on a super low cooldown. Like, sure, the fights were kind of sporadic. All Forbidden. Great body slam.
Now the slow's coming down as well. Forbidden needs to be really careful. The flash comes out. That's going to be a big cooldown used on the Blitzcrank.
It is kind of big to get the flash off the Blitzcrank, though, because Flash Hook is just such a potent force, and not having to deal with that means he just has to rely on regular hooks or the Hex Flash Hook. Still, though, it is going to be up in 20. Teleport coming out.
It's going to be big. Ragnarok already popped here. Boss Giovanni trying to get in there. He goes gold, and he's going to buy some time. The Demonic Ascension isn't going to do much, though. And the fight's continuing. The rocket jump from Pursuer. That's going to be a big casket, as that's the Karma falling. They've got the advantage here potentially is now Shock is just laying waste to the backline though. That is a big wave from Shadowy Figure. Can he get the outplays here? We got Boone for the kills. You have so much mobility on the side of Nimbus, but Shockpool is just laying the hammer swings with the fist one by one and taking them down. Boone needing to run away here. He's got a lot of mobile abilities here, and Shockpool trying to get onto him. The rocket jump in. Pursuer gets the shot. The haymaker over the wall ends the dream of Boone.
God, and that was pixel perfect from Shockpool there. Like,
perfect.
That was like literally max range coming out on that haymaker. Great. That's gonna really propel their team ahead. Like, the Gold League doubled in that fight. They're able to get the Cloud Dragon there. There's now 5 kills on this set, which is just so massive. Like, we saw what this set could do last game when we got a little bit of leeway. Now imagine him with this much leverage, Lemons. Like, he might be able to just completely take over the game.
Teamwork makes the dream work, and Pursuer putting in that little pop shot onto the last member there and going to be able to pick him up off the boot. That was just wonderful. Got to see a continuation, though, of it, as the game has been questionable so far, but we're going to see Ragnarok. Mouse Giovanni's going to go golden, but that could just be it for him. Is it going to be doubtful going for? Oh my goodness, he's just, this is the bro comp coming through. That's going to be Shockpool stunned up though. The TP was coming down as well. We see the fight in the mid lane. That's going to be a showstopper used. Shockpool trying to get the damage down on Shadowy Figure. That's a huge haymaker. It's the turnaround as Doubtful is still kicking away. He's throwing the axes. He's landing them. He's going to pick up a triple kill for himself and see if they can follow it up on the drops. The undertow is going to kick. That's the casket, though. Going to be able to pick up the return kill. They need to take him down here, and it's going to be Klexo sweeping up the kills.
A 4-4-2. Very, very action-packed here on the Rift, Lemons. Like, I feel like with each passing minute, my play-by-play limit testing theory is just coming more and more true. A self-fulfilling prophecy, if you will. But God, just more kills going to the already fed members here of Akuma. You kind of wish that a couple of those kills were on this Tristana here for Pursuer, but they might not even need that with how unstoppable this top jungle duo looks.
Boom just coming in to show that he's there. I'm still in the game, y'all. I'm still here.
Hey guys, I just wanted to remind you, I do have a burst combo. And this Karma, who now has a Finished Athenes and a Murk Treads, is just like, you do have a burst combo.
So,
use one spell on me.
The biggest concern here for me is definitely the Olaf, who's starting to run away with the gold on drops, and the Gragas needs gold here. You've got to be able to make those one-shot combos really work out for you. And honestly, Drops has been doing a really good job playing from behind and still being really effective with the caskets and with the damage like that. But it's going to start feeling worse as the tankier items come through. You already see the start of the Death's Dance there for Doubtful as well. So that's gonna be a bit rough. You gotta take the advantage. Speaking of advantage, Shadowy didn't.
Wait, Shadowy's just caught.
Shadowy got caught. He got hit over the blast brush. He wanted the fight, but now he's not going to take it. He gets over the wall, but that's the grab on the Drops, who just wanted to show his face. He just wanted to say hi. He just wanted to help his friend, and he gets bursted as the rocket grab came over the wall, and that's going to be the Baron startup here. They have no jungler. They need to make a play. They need to push them off of this objective. The flash from Klexo, he's caught out here. This is the play to get one of the members down, but now you got to turn your eyes to the Baron pit. That's going to be a big enchanted crystal arrow on the Pursuer, but he's looking to lay down the damage. The rocket jump going forward. Boss Giovanni in the middle of it all with Demonic Ascension. Can they fight it? Pursuer just running away on the side, trying to get away from the Riven. Coming over the wall is Shadowy Figure, though. Shockpool trying to make the play in the backside of the fight, but he's just getting kited. Pursuer gets taken down. Now the turnaround, the stuns are there. Shockpool goes down to Boss Giovanni. And Doubtful trying to finish it off here. Just going to land the undertows over and over again. Boss Giovanni, you are not making it away from this Viking today. And he's going to take him down. But you have 2 more members coming over onto Doubtful. He's got the Baron buff. They were able to secure it. But is he going to survive? Boone very, very low. But Drop still has all of his health. Still has all of his damage. And they're going to try to get the cascade. He pops him right into his teammate. It's
Wins
Serious Doom, the mastery coming out from Doubtful, showing you who's boss. Oh, Klexo with the sneaky little cheese. Gonna throw in that mantra. Q. Actually, it was just a Q. I gotta pick up that kill.
God, why would anyone pay to watch UFC when you can get as much, if not more, fighting on screen per minute with this series right now? Like, that all started with what seems like 5 minutes ago at this point, with that predictive hook coming out from Forbidden, with Shadowy Figure just going over that wall, and it all comes full circle, Lemons!
Speaking of Shadowy Figure, he's gonna get knocked up, dragged out, and killed right in time for the dragon to spawn. And it just always seems that Murk Nimbus are at a deficit in team members when it comes to the big objectives, the big moments.
And honestly, somebody just get Forbidden a tarot card deck here, because this man can read a future, any future. He knows where you'll be 3 years ahead of time. Look at that.
About it, Drops getting dragged out. Oh, the Buster Shot, the burn! It's gonna be enough! Sniper shot from Pursuer! Oh my goodness, that is gonna be a big haymaker come through. They do have the chase, but Kali doesn't want to commit to it. Boone is on the side of this, but not going to take the flank there, as they are down a member, and also Shadowy Figure not in the fight, so they need to pull off. They're just looking to defend.
Thing is, though, it's going to be so hard for them to defend here against this Blitzcrank. Like, who wants to take a hook on their team? Literally no one besides the Swain really can, but the Swain might not be able to live.
The TP's coming in. Ragnarok pop. They just want to commit all the way to this. Ragnarok going ham in the background. That's the Olaf trying to pick up the kills. The hook's not going to land. They get out. They've tanked so much of the tower during that. They're looking to focus it now, and they do take it. You still have Boone on the backside, but they're really not paying much attention to him. But this is the moment that Boone gets scary, because he comes in like a shark to be able to pick people off, but it looks like he's going to pull off and doesn't want to take the risk there.
But still, that's another dub coming out. Sure, they didn't get a kill there, but they're able to get that tower. They're able to secure the Cloud Soul beforehand, and they've secured themselves a very sizable gold lead here, Lemons, with this almost 9k gold differential coming out. Like, you have to feel like, with the comp differential, with the fact that Murk, Nimbus, they kind of had to win lane to win the game, I just kind of feel like it's all over for them now.
Yeah, it's definitely looking dire. I mean, the Cloud Soul going over, that's definitely feels bad, especially against this composition with the way that they want to play the game. As you see, this is like a perfect textbook definition of what they do with that movement speed, how they use it to their advantage. A Shadowy Figure just literally can't do anything.
That's the thing about this Karma pick. Like, once this Karma gets onto you, once she drops that tether, once she roots you, once she slows you, once she speeds up her team, you're just like, alright, guess I can't do anything. Even as Riven, you have the dashes between Valor.
So be it.
You just can't do squat, like.
Yeah. It's definitely a rough time. You see the siege coming out. That's Tristana being able to burst those towers really, really quickly, but that's also just the gold lead across the board, and you're seeing them focus on the top side now, just taking down even more turrets. You have Boone looking for flanks, always on the edge of the fight, but they can't find an entrance. They can't find a way to turn the fight in their favor unless you get a mess up. Forbidden going forward, going into the fight. That's Boone on the backside. He's just going to get focused down. That's going, also Drops going down. Now Boss Giovanni goes golden in the middle of the entire fight, but is he going to be able to survive very long? The healing isn't enough, and they're just getting picked apart here. Go Farino, the final fight from Shadowy Figure. He's not going to have it. That is everything they had in the tank, and all of it is gone, as that's an ace coming through for Akuma, and could just be the game.
That's a clean 5-0 coming out. Sure, they don't have the Baron here, but they have a cannon minion. They have all these members already wailing away on these turrets. Like, this is just going to be a clean 2-0 coming out from the Akuma squad. Like, you wouldn't think that looking at the scoreline before coming into this. Like, a literal flawless record pre-playoffs here for Murk Nimbus. Sure, AK, they were strong 4-2, but you think one of these teams would have the upper advantage. You come into this game, you would think those score lines were flipped.
Yeah, Akuma coming out on top in this first round of playoffs for the Divine League of Risen Esports with a clean-ish 2-0 here over Murk Nimbus. And it was a great performance in the end for Akuma in both. I think the shot calling was so good from them across the board in both games. And there were moments of brightness for Murk Nimbus. And I'm so excited. They do still get to be in the playoffs. They just get knocked down to that loser's bracket. But that's where all the underdog stories come to life. And that's where you can claw your way back up and potentially one day try to get your revenge on Akuma.
That is going to be a while out, though, because you might have to potentially just climb up through the entire losers bracket. Like, this is the only mistake Murk Nimbus can make. They can't drop another series from here on out, whereas this here for the side of Akuma, Katanas, like, this is such a dominant start. Like, I have no doubt in my mind that they can at least make it several stages into the playoffs here with this absolutely dominant first round showing here.
I just can't wait to see more of the Divine League playoffs. It's going to be a wonderful end to the tournament. We've had such a great season so far, and just to see these teams showing up in the playoffs, especially Akuma, already gives me some hope for the entirety of the tournament.
But Lemons, who do you have to give Series MVP to?
Ooh, that is a tough one. I honestly have to say it's doubtful. I think he had such a strong performance in both games. Honestly, the Nidalee Spears still coming up clutch. Maybe not every single one that you wanted, but the pace that he set in game number 1 was so important. And then you just have Broloff going ham in game number 2, 14, 3, and 6. So I would have to say doubtful was that driving force for Akuma today.
I do have to agree there. Like, this series, it was a little bit of a jungle differential coming out. Like, I know it is a little bit of an overused term, but the gap between these junglers, I feel, is just too massive. Sure, Drops did what he could from behind, especially in that game number 2, but
yeah,
one jungler was just better, and the better jungler wins, it seems.
to simplify it a little bit for sure. Now, the biggest question is moving forward, and it's going to be a decently long term. We are going to play next week for the next round, and the only thing that we're waiting on to figure out is which team of either Black Mamba Esports or Oasis Revenant win. The winner of that game will go up against Akuma Katanas, and the loser will face Murk Nimbus in the losers bracket round 1. So that's something to look forward to next week. But that is going to be it from us today, Go Frino. Thank you so much for joining us. And we had Mowgli on the production coming up clutch as always. Thank you so much, Mowgli, for putting this on today for us. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to call it here. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we hope to see you next time on Summoner's Rift.